Today, we're mixing up the easiest side dish for new cooks. And I promise you're just gonna love this recipe. Hi, I'm Melissa Diane, and today we are fixing up an incredible side dish. It is a green bean side dish. This is perfect if you're new to cooking. It's simple, it's easy, but y'all, when you get it all finished, it has this fancy flair to it and it tastes incredible. So here we go, let's get into the ingredients. You're going to be starting with your fresh green beans. And so I've got one bag here. It's 12 ounces fresh green beans. Then for salt, you can use some kosher salt or some sea salt. Got some olive oil and then some Parmesan cheese. It can be grated, it can be shredded, whichever you've got. Then some sliced almonds and some fresh parsley. And y'all, that's it as far as the ingredients. Now, you also need to make sure that you've got a good sized cookie sheet. I'm going to be using the biggest cookie sheet I have today because when we put these green beans on here, we want to be able to spread them out really well. They're going to cook a lot easier and a lot more even. And then you want a little bit of some parchment paper. So I got me some parchment paper here. We're going to line the cookie sheet with this because it's going to help with the cooking. And also, y'all, it just makes the cleanup so much easier. We're going to start by going ahead and getting our parchment paper and putting it on our cookie sheet. So you're just going to cut it to fit. There we go. So it's all ready to go. And now the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take these green beans and I'm going to wash them. I'm going to rinse them off really quick and I'll be right back. I've washed the green beans off. I just rinsed them off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm laying them on here because I'm going to pat them dry because I wanted them to get really dry before I season them. So we're going to pat these and just pat and pat and get them dry. Just like to get all that, as much of that off there as I can because they're going to season up a little bit better. And we're just putting a little seasoning on them, but it does make a difference. Okay, now what I'm going to do, let me get my tongs here. You can do this a couple ways. You can take the green beans and put them right on your cookie sheet and then and season them on there. I like to go ahead and put them in my bowl because that way I think I'm able to coat them better and it's not quite as messy. So we're going to put all of these right here really quick back in our bowl. Okay, so we've got our green beans in our bowl, and then I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on them. Now you can take just your olive oil just like this and kind of drizzle it on there and mix them up. What I like to do, and I'll leave a link for you for this and anything else that I'm using today, if I can find a link for you on Amazon, I'll put it in the description section. I love this little thing. I've been using this for 4 or 5 years, and I can't remember how I came across it, but it's wonderful. You fill it up with your olive oil if you haven't ever seen one of these, and you just squirt, and it just makes it so much easier. And I love it. We use it for all kinds of things, but it's easier and it's not as messy. So there we go. So I'm just going to take this, and I want to coat these really well though. Kind of just put it all over. And I'm just going to toss and toss, get them nice and covered and shiny. And that's going to help your little salt stick on there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, it looks like they're covered pretty good. Now I'm going to just take a little bit of salt, okay? And I'm going to put this all over. Just a little bit. And a lot of this is going to fall off when we pick them up. So it's not like we're coating the green beans that much, actually. We're just getting a little seasoning on there. Oh, these are beautiful. Okay, now just kind of across the top a little bit, and then I'm going to put a little bit more on when we actually put them here on the cookie sheet. So you've got your olive oil, and you just got a little bit of your salt across the top. Now what we're going to do, let me scoot this over. Now we're going to take these, and we're going to put them, just lay them out here across your cookie sheet. And I'm just going to spread them around. Plop them on here. And y'all, when these get, after you take these out of the oven, if you've never done this, they are just fantastic. They're actually very addicting. This makes a fantastic side dish, but it makes it even a wonderful snack. A lot of times what happens is when I'm doing this, when I make this dish, Jay will come in from the hangar, he'll be out there doing stuff, and we'll just actually end up snacking on them because they are such a good snack. And I'm just gonna try to separate them. I think that they do better the more room they have around them, so they're not piled on top of each other. Very nice. Okay, we got two more. Two more. There we go. Wait. 1, 2. Okay, got it. Now we're ready to go into the oven, and we'll put these in the oven for about 5 minutes on 425 because we have some other items that we're going to be fixing up and we're going to add to these. So I'm going to meet you at the oven. Okay, so take a quick look, take a close-up look here. So all we have so far is the olive oil and a little bit of salt on top. We're going to put these in, and they're going to go for 5 minutes. So I'll see you in just a few. While those are cooking, we're going to go ahead and get some of our other items ready. We have our cheese here, and what I'm using, this is shredded Parmesan cheese. We're going to be using this as a topping. So for our sliced almonds, I'm just going to take a few of these, and I'm going to chop them up a little bit more just so they're a little smaller. And y'all, these are going to be fantastic when we put these on top of those green beans. We'll get a few more out and just chop them up. Now, I was going to tell you, on your green beans, I washed them and then went ahead and got them seasoned. If the green beans you're using, if the ends need to be cut off, then go ahead and cut those off before you actually do your seasoning. Mine already came, when they come in a bag like that, they're already cut, so you don't have to do that. What I've done now is I simply reached down and I have flipped all of these green beans over. We're going to put them back in now. So the green beans are in the oven. They had gone for 5 minutes, and I just, flipped them over. And what I'm doing now, I'm just finishing up a little bit more of the items for our topping. And if this is being helpful, y'all, then please pop that like button, because it does two things. It helps this spread to other people, and it lets me know what you like. So real quickly here, we're almost done with our, oops, there's a little bitty one. Almost done with our almonds. And those green beans are back there just cooking. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach over here. Let me move this, and we're going to get our parsley. And so for our parsley, I have rinsed this off and I've patted it dry. You always want to pat everything dry. And then I'm just going to pick off a few leaves here, and we're just going to chop these up. And y'all, this is going to add a lot of flavor to those green beans. And also when you put this on right before you serve it, it just makes it look so, so pretty. So we'll get a few here. And I always like to keep just a little bit of parsley in the fridge, because no matter what it is that you're cooking, and you just add a little bit of parsley to it, it just makes it look so pretty and fancy. I'm taking our parsley, the fresh parsley, and I'm just chopping it up, some little pieces here. And we're going to be ready in just a few minutes. So we're just chopping up the parsley while the green beans are finishing up. Then we'll have everything ready to go. I love this knife. I'll put some info for you about this also. If you've never had a Nakiri knife, I never had, and this was my first one that I had gotten, and I love this, y'all. This knife, it's so neat. You can use it it's wonderful for veggies. And one of the things I'm wanting to do this year is I'm wanting to go take a class on knife skills, because I'm wanting to learn how to actually use all the different knives that I'm starting to collect. And then when I do that, I can come back and I can share with you what I learned. To be careful, because this knife is this little guy is extremely sharp. Let me stick him over here. And there's our parsley. Okay, so let's move this over, and it is beeping, so let's go check it. Okay, so we've taken these out, and the way you know when they're done is, let me get my little tongs, hang on. The way you know these are done is when you look in the oven, and you'll see that they start to kind of, some of them will start to get kind of a little bit of a caramelized look to them. Some little golden areas on them, and that's how you know that these little guys are ready. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to transfer them over to my serving platter, and we're going to put our topping on. But I think, let me go ahead. I'm going to put a little bit of cheese on first because I usually like to put a little cheese on first while they're really, really warm. And that cheese will start to melt. And then I always end up putting more cheese on afterwards too because I love cheese on these. But if you'll go ahead, as soon as they come out of the oven, and I just kind of push them together and then put this cheese on. You can see it's already melting. I can already see that the cheese is melting. So I like that. So we're gonna let that do that and let that sit for just a couple of minutes. And I think, there we go. Yeah, we'll let them sit for just a couple minutes. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead. The cheese has already melted some, and I'm going to go ahead and plate these onto our serving platter. So we're going to go ahead and get these on before we put on the rest of our topping. And I'm going to put about half of them on here, and I'll show you why. I've got about half, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take our crushed up sliced almonds and put those across the top. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of parsley here just on the middle. Okay. And then I'm going to come back and take the rest of these. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put a little more cheese on. I just like to layer it. I like to layer this side. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to reach down, get a few more of these. Another thing you can put on here, y'all, you can just get so creative. And so if you've never made these before or you're fairly new to cooking, y'all get creative. You can't hurt anything. And just red pepper, just a few flakes of red pepper on here. Oh, wouldn't that be pretty? You could just kind of put that across the top. And so if something sounds like it would be good, try it. Okay, there we go. And now what we're going to do, let me move this out of the way just really quick. There we go. Let's scoot it over. Okay, now looky here. What we're going to do, we've gotten these, let's put a little more cheese. I know there's a lot of cheese on here, but it melts and it helps. And just actually those green beans, when you put that cheese on there and it melts like that, it gives it this really clear shine. It's just absolutely beautiful. And now we're going to take those almonds and put some of these crushed almonds all along the top. I like to put some along the sides, kind of around the edges here. This makes it look really pretty. And then put a few more across the top. And then take some of that parsley. Take some of that parsley that you've chopped up and just go across the top right there. Okay. And there you go. And y'all, look at this. This is the simplest thing ever, isn't it? But I think it turns out fantastic. And it tastes just incredible. So here we go. We're going to taste this. Let's see what we think. Oh, wow, y'all. Just take a really quick close-up look of what this looks like after you get all the toppings on. Okay, so now let's give these a quick taste, okay? I love them. These are absolutely fantastic. The texture is perfect. They're a little bit crunchy, but not too much. They're still moist, but they're not mushy. And so if you're wanting to learn some tips about how to keep your vegetables from actually getting mushy, then please check out that next video that's popping up. And I'll see you over there in a few minutes. Bye-bye.